Hello friends, my name is Pawan Mittal. I am a lead developer at Adobe. Today I am going to talk about single page application server-side rendering in AEM 6.4.3. In my previous videos, you have seen client-side rendering of single page applications in AEM, but in this video I will be focusing on server-side rendering. You can follow me on social media platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter. I am also having some of those AEM sample codes which you can take and as a reference from my GitHub repo. And I am also using the same sample codes in my other videos as well. So after completing this video or training, you will be able to set up your single page application and server-side rendering using React framework. So in this video I will be using React framework, but you can also use Angular because AEM 6.4.3 and SP Editor.js SDK is having a support for both front-end JavaScript frameworks. And you will be also able to enable server-side rendering using AEM page component, and you will be able to run Node.js server which will be serving static HTML content to AEM page component via HTML, and you need to configure CORS, cross origin request, and AEM GetPreRenderedPageBody OSGI service, which will be communicating to your Node.js server and fetching the static content. And in this video I will be using aem-sample-we-retail-journal for reference for quick demo setup. Okay, let's move to now demo. So this is my AEM instance. I am running on port on version AEM 6.4.3. So what is server-side rendering for SPAs in AEM? So server-side rendering for SPAs in AEM requires a Node.js server which basically calls for rendering of the app content on the server side. So Node.js server is the one which is a main source for returning static HTML or static content which is requested from your AEM page component via STL template. Okay, so this is the page that I am referring for the document, and there are the links that you can refer for corresponding your JavaScript framework. So for React and Angular. And for this demo I am using we-retail-journal app. So you can also use and quickly set it up to get your some idea about SPA components and AEM integration. So to set up this code and your local, you need to have AEM 6.4.3 up and running, and you can download this code, and you need just for setting up you need to just install this command which will just set up your AEM environment. Once this is done, then after installing that project, you will have your AEM with we-retail-journal AEM side project. Now, so the next step is, now once you have your AEM project set up, you have installed in AEM and running on AEM 6.4.3. Now we have to do few configuration steps to make sure that server-side rendering is configured. So what you can do is, in the same project, you'll go to the React app project and open that development document which has some steps to explain how you can configure server-side rendering in AEM. So what you have to do is, these are the steps that you can follow. This is you need to enable in server-side rendering using aem page component. So go to this path, open the body.html. So this is the body.html of page component, and the expected body template will be, so you can just replace the existing code and make sure you have a resource type SPASSR configured, and this is the page component resource. So this is the service. This is the GetPreRenderedBody service, which is registered on this resource type in your OSGI. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that it is configured with your Node.js server details, because this is the service which will be fetching the content from your Node.js server. So you can configure our OSGI configuration. Search for this setting, GetPreRenderedBody. So I can search for single page application configuration, and you have to make sure that you have to configure your Node.js server on which port it is running. So before doing that, let me start my Node.js server. So this is the command with which you can quickly set up and run your Node.js application. So this is the project that I have installed, and this is my code. So I'm in the folder React app. So you can also execute the same command. Yeah. So once it is successfully started, then it will specify on which port it is running. So it is on 4200. So what I can do is I can just copy and make sure that the same server is configured. So, okay. Now next step is I have to make sure my requests are authorized. So for that, this is the part of the code. So we need not to do anything. So under custom model client.js, we have authorization header, and as I am running my local AEM instance, so this is for user admin. And the next step is to configure core settings. So similarly, I can open my cross origin service where I need to configure my Node.js server URL, so which is the same on which I am running my port 4200, and I have to make sure that I am having a supported header authorization and allowed methods options. So they are the same step, those are specified in this document as well. So you need to specify your allowed origin. For me it is a port 4200, so you can also check on which port you are running your Node.js server, and you need to add your supported header authorization and allowed method options. Once these configurations are done, so what we have done is we have configured our AEM page component, we have configured our GetPreRender service, we have configured our core settings, and we have made our all the requests authorized. Once this is all done, then this is the home page which you can access. So let me just reload this page, and as you see it successfully load. And just to verify that it is a server-side rendering through which it has returned the HTML and showcasing it. So just to prove that point, in our code, this is the few things that I modified from the existing sample code from the GitHub. On my local I modified. So I added some log file, some log statements, and few of the small things that I changed, like a page model root path, and I have also logged it that whether it is coming from AEM or not. So if it is coming, so as you can see my log as well. So once my page is requested, so it is a request from AEM, a post request, and this is the URL that is requested, and so the content will be supplied with HTML to my AEM service, and which is now rendered. So this is server-side rendering. This is done through server-side rendering. And just to explain the architecture, how it is happening. So this is the AEM driven communication flow, which is, so let me just try to relate from the thing that I just explained. So so this is the architecture diagram where browser will make a request to AEM, and AEM will make a post request to Node.js server to serve the content. Then Node.js server will generate the HTML content and provide it to AEM service. So it is the same service that we I have discussed. And once the content is returned, it will be rendered to the browser. Step 4. So this is the all communication flow, and this is all happening on server side. Okay. So we were able to complete all those objectives. So thank you guys. This is all about server side rendering, and I have reused my existing sample code and the Adobe documentation for it. And let me know if you have any issues. Please do comment and let me know. Thank you guys.